Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Van Horn and this is another Dragonheir Silent Scott video. Today I'm back again once more on the test server because I want to talk about what is going to happen in a couple of days when Season 4 starts for the frontrunner on server like mine. But all those tips that I'm going to share with you today are going to be applicable whatever you are in the game. And if you are in Season 1, when you're going to jump to Season 2, you can pretty much consider doing the same. When doing the same reasoning, obviously your banner are going to be different and the situation you're going to be is going to be different as well, but certain things are going to be the same for everyone. Now, in 2 days, on Friday 21st, the server on my server is going to start from Season 4. And we're obviously going to have the settlement with the points and transfer to Sencor Dust. We can buy dice from the market, the exchange market for the season. We can get a lot of resources over there. I'm going to try to buy as much as possible. And one thing to be aware, on the test server at the moment that I'm not 100% sure this might be a mistake, Ultior is not visible for the shops that is going to get to us at the end of Season 4. It is in the shops between Season 3 and Season 4, so I might snatch it just because you never know what is happening to champions. They might get him buff in the future, and if you don't have a chance to buy it from this season on, I'd rather have it than not. Obviously, I have the artifacts. I'm going to buy the artifacts from Season 1 because I wasn't able to finish Fae and Pillar at that time. But from next season on, I should not have any problems because all of these artifacts already have. Those for Season 4, I'm hoping to get pretty easily. I'm gonna for sure have Calavera from the event. Aladia and Adret already have. I might consider though buying some of them at the end of the season to have some inspiration on them if I have an excess of points, almost for sure. Obviously there's gonna be dice, there's gonna be a lot of scrolls as well, so get ham, buy what you need obviously, but keep in mind that if you have a leftover of pure Sencor, you can keep them for the season after. I have pretty much 1500 save up from last season. They're going to be enough for me to buy Utur and buy some other extra resources or keep it for the next season. And that's the first step. You're going to buy a lot of dice and you're going to get whatever you want from the shop. Right after that, we're all going to have itchy hands because we're going to want to pull on the banners. We're going to have the tickets from the season that you get from ranking in each of the seasons, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. So far, you get 10, 12 tickets, rare, epics, or legendaries. You can get a list of champions from the banner where the tickets are applied, and you're going to get a very low pity systems at legendary every 10. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to pull 10 dice to get your first legendary. You can get legendary in dice 5. And that's why I'm suggesting to you to pull them one by one, because you can control better when you hit pity and how many dice you're going to need. And you can save maybe 5 like I did last season. I didn't use all my die on that. I didn't use all my tickets. I got the second legendary on dice 15. So I've saved 5 dice that I can use somewhere else. Because we need to be quite strategic. Obviously, resources are abundant for some of us, especially if you spend. But if you don't spend and you just grind the game, it's more difficult to get good numbers. And you want to save them for something that maybe is more useful. Also because when you pass the user of the ticket, there is no PD system on that banner. We're going to have also a banner like this one. Season 4 features summons, where you're going to have a selection of champions that you can pull from it. And that's where last season I went full in and got a lot of legendary. I got a lot of copies of legendaries and I got a lot of artifacts. Legendary artifacts, they are now becoming mythicals on Season 4. It is useful if you still don't have a lot of artifacts, obviously, to invest on something like this. But keep in mind, we have a lot of events coming in a short span of time. And it will be useful for you, especially if you are on lower ends of the dice collection. Like, I don't know, if you have less than 100 die, you should probably plan carefully because there's going to be soon D&D collaboration. I'm not sure about when that is going to happen. It's been postponed a few times, but I'm assuming maybe July. And there's also going to be the events for the season 4. The Chaos Shadow one, where we're gonna get Calavera, and we don't know what the bosses are going to be. If they are easy like they were in season 3, you don't need to pull dice, because if you get obviously top ranking in each of them every week all the way across, you can get the champions without pulling dice. But you might don't know that at the moment, and so if instead you are on a banner on a server that is running a bit later, we're gonna get to that point, let you know all the composition that you can run, and you can buy save dice over there too. But there's going to be obviously the D&D one, and on D&D one there is a champion and an artifact usually. So usually you end up pulling few dice over there. I don't remember the exact amount I've ended up pulling for Elminster, which is the last D&D collaboration we had. But I went for the champion and the artifact, and I have no regrets because I used both. The champions turns out being quite average or decent, I would say, but not mind-blowing. The artifact is probably the best of the two on the long run, if I have to be honest. But it doesn't mean that in the future the new collaboration is going to be the same. We're going to have to see what is bringing and how it's going to be structured. Structure might well be the same that it was. And we need to pull a few dice over there too. So keep that in mind too. And it's been announced many times that we're going to have an oak festival with banners. They're going to target individual affinity. So you're going to get banner for frost or for poison or for radiance, fire, etc. Where you can only pull champions of that affinity. So it's going to be for you and for many players the best opportunity to target every champion in that affinity if you want to push one that you are particularly weak or particularly strong. If you want to try pull some dupe, get some exclusive artifact maybe, or some artifact for that school of damage. And so it's going to be useful if you have a good number of dice to save some for that event too. So try to be careful. Obviously not trying to tell you what to do, because everybody should do what they feel. Obviously is your account and you know where you are in the game, what you need to progress, etc. But the champions for season 4 are decent but not mind-blowing. Some of them are going to be really good in PvP. Master is going to be a big problem in arena, I believe. Aramar is also a great champion that is going to shift some meta. Astaion is also a champion that I'm looking for because she looks absolutely amazing in arena. She can be a very good support for my shadow, for example. But the rest of the batch is kind of meh. I like the Thunderbolt of Fena because she can be a good support for my Perkunte. She can lay out a lot of Thunderbolt electrocute debuff, and so stack up my stacks on Perkunte. But she's not game breaking neither. The Aura one is okay, but Aura really difficult to play. I don't see a massive use for her. The 2 fire are decent. The 2 burn champions are decent. But if you don't have a massive damage dealer, you're not gonna squeeze that crazy amount of damage from them. They might turn out be useful. I think in season 3 we had champions that nobody was expecting to be so dominant, like Asphalta, for example. She was looking good, but obviously everybody was looking at Ozul as a damage dealer, and she turned out being pretty dominant in arena. She was in my top 30 ranking team throughout the entire season. Amazing champion. None of them in here sounds on paper that crazy, but all of them has some potential and some niche use that we might find throughout the season, bosses or whatever is coming in the future. So don't underestimate that, and if you have the will to try to pull for some of them, feel free to go. I'm sure there's no awful champion in here. Like even the least interesting to me, which is Miro, is still decent DPS, and when we get to bosses we always try to squeeze as many Ice Blast team as possible because they are easy to build and they push a lot of damage. So having another DPS is not going to kill your account for sure. You might use them, you might build them later in the season, and you still be able to squeeze some damage out of it. We have another Ice Blast coming through Fae or Pillar, so we're going to have 2 more DPS on that school of damage. The epics are good, Dauntless is good, but the epics we're going to get anywhere. throughout Starlight or Iliolite. So keep that in mind. We're gonna have 20 dice on the tickets, summoning tickets for the 10 PT system. We're gonna have a season 4 banner where we can try to target dupes for artifact if you want to go with the season 4 champions. But we're gonna have also a D&D collaboration and the events for Calavera and the Oak Festival coming in a short span of time. And if you're not a spender, you need to plan carefully. This is everything for today, guys. I hope it's useful. And until the next video, guys, have fun.